In this video, I'll be walking through the question you can see on the screen here from the summer 2025 Cambridge A-Level Maths paper 1-3. I'm going to try and show you how to do this question and not just the solution. So definitely pause and rewatch certain parts of the video as you need to. If you're looking for a different question from this paper or a different paper entirely, you should be able to find a playlist in the description below or have a look around my channel. Okay, let's get into the maths. In question 5, we're given this trigonometric equation and asked to solve it. What we always want to do with an equation is move things around so the thing we want to solve is on its own. In this case, theta is what we want, but it's mixed up in a cosine, in a sine, and in a tan. Luckily, these are all related. So the first thing that jumps out at me at least, and it's not a guarantee to solve these questions. Sometimes you do just have to play around with them. Do you see any identities that are quite common? In this case, we don't need any of that. Double angle identities, things like that. First thing that jumps out at me is simply tan. Tan theta, let's get rid of that. Let's turn that into a sine and cosine because we already have sines and cosines. So that could be wrote as 4 sine theta. Instead of tan theta, sine theta over cosine theta equals 1 plus 5 cosine theta. Now instead of cosine, sine and tan, we just have sine and tan. So I see that as a step forward. Next thing to do, this cosine on the bottom row, let's get rid of that. Let's multiply it across so there's nothing on the bottom row. Multiply everyone by cosine. Also, sine by sine can be put together as sine squared. Cosine theta by this, it disappears. Cosine theta by 1, it becomes cosine theta. Cosine theta by this cosine is cosine squared theta. Okay, looks like we might have a quadratic, but still a bit of trouble. We have a cosine squared, sine squared, and a cosine. How do we get these together? Next thing that should jump out at you is, well, cosine and sine are related. Cosine squared plus sine squared is equal to 1. A very common thing to happen in these questions is to rearrange this. In this case, we have cosine, we have another cosine. It'd be nice to get rid of this sine, turn this into a cosine. So rearrange this, we'd have sine squared is equal to 1 minus cosine squared. You wouldn't have to write this because we use it so much. I would expect most students to remember this connection here. If you don't, you are given this in your formulas and you can just make this without too much trouble. If you replace the cosine with sine, that'd be sort of okay. The problem is you'd have a cosine here and it wouldn't really work out for you. Okay, so let's try to do this. This would be 4 multiplied by 1 minus cosine squared is equal, well, this side doesn't change. We multiply this out and then combine it all because we do have a quadratic now. We have cosine squares. There'll be another cosine squared here. A cosine on its own and a number will appear over here. Let's get all this together. Let's get everybody over the right side. We'll have minus 4 cosine squared over here and plus 5. So if we move it all over, we'd have 9 cosine squared. Let's see, the only place we'd get a single cosines is here, so that'd be a plus cosine theta, and we'd get a number over here. We'd have plus 4, it'd come over to be minus 4, and we'll change where the equals is just to make it look near. This is a quadratic, and if you're like me, you'd think to yourself, well, I can factorize this. I just need to think of 2 numbers multiplied to get 9, maybe 9 and 1 or 3 and 3. 2 numbers to get 4, 2 and 2, and 4 and 1. Rearrange this so they get 1. Can't do it. It doesn't factorize neatly, unfortunately. So we'll go ahead and use the minus b formula. So remember, this would be the a in the minus b formula would be 9. The b would be 1 in front of the cosine, and the c would be minus 4. I don't know why I put that all the way over there, but the minus b formula would then tell us that cosine theta is equal to minus 1, that's minus b, plus or minus the square root of b squared, that's 1 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 9, times c, which is minus 4, all divided by 2 times a, which is 2 nines. If we clean all this up, we get minus 1 out here. 4 by 4 is 16. Minus 4 by minus 4 is plus 16. Multiplied by 9 is 90 plus 54, so 144 plus another 1. So we'd get square root of 145 all over 18. 2 answers here. If we put them into the calculator, I have it in the notes here. Let's see, cosine theta. We'd get 2 answers for it. We would get 0.61342. That continue on. Or we'd get, that'd be with the plus number, or we'd get minus 0.72453. That would continue on. These would be 2 answers, 2 possible answers we'd get for cosine. You know, I need a little more room to explain the importance of this here. So let me clear off the right hand side before we continue on. Now, a lot of students would have just put this into your calculator. Theta is equal the inverse of this and the inverse of this. Get 2 answers and leave it there. You're going to lose 1 or 2 marks if you do that. There's actually 4 correct answers here. And to explain that, let me draw cosine. Cosine looks like this. Continues on like that. This is what cosine looks like. If cosine theta is 0.61, that'd be up around here. That means the answer, theta actually has many answers. Has all of these points of intersection is a possible answer for theta. There's infinite of them. Same with minus 0.7, somewhere down here. It has infinite answers as well. Now the problem is your calculator is stupid. The only thing your calculator can do for cosine is look at this world here. Between 0 and 180. That's the only thing your calculator does, unless you have a fancier calculator. So the only thing your calculator will find is this answer. That'll be theta is equal 52.2. And this answer down here, theta is equal 136.4. These are perfectly good answers. They are correct answers. Your calculator is right in that, but it is leaving out infinite other answers. You have to use your brain to find them. What they asked you to look at wasn't 0 to 180 like your calculator wants to do. It's minus 180 to 180. What the examiner wants you to look at is this world here. And in that world, there's 2 more answers I would like. Thankfully, it's very easy to get. They're symmetrical. If this is 52.2 away from 0, this is 52.2 away from 0, the other direction. Another valid answer is minus 52.2. Same here. If this is 136 away, that's 136 away. So minus 136.4 is another answer. There are 4 answers to get full marks in this question. Okay, that's it for question 5. If you have any follow-up questions, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks for watching and have a great day. If you are finding my videos useful and would like to help the channel out, on top of liking and subscribing, probably the best thing you could do is to tell other people doing the exam about my channel. Maybe you could share this video in a class WhatsApp group. Then if you feel I've really deserved it and you would like to buy me a coffee, you could become a member on YouTube or on Patreon. You should find links to that in the description below.